Greetings, everybody. I want to continue critiquing a couple things here in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and regarding the man of sin falling away, and continuing to answer the question, has the Antichrist already been revealed? And has it been revealed, but throughout the course of time, it's been forgotten? Okay. I want to look at two verses here to kind of continue in context of what we've been talking about before, about how this man of sin, how this figure is going to come from within the church, and so therefore how can the church be gone if this figure is going to come from within the church? Okay. There's been a few people out there that have been looking at 2 Thessalonians 2:3, where it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Okay. There's been a few people that have come out and laid claim that the falling away doesn't necessarily mean a apostasy. But when you further look into the word, it actually means a departure. So therefore, that's another way they are saying that that upholds a rapture teaching. Well, we're going to really define that word. We're going to connect all the dots. And we're going to see in context with other scriptures what this falling away means. Yes, it does mean a departure. But a departure from what? Departure from this earth? Or is it a departure from the faith? What is it? We're going to look at that. And another thing we're going to just kind of go over this right here. The mystery of iniquity in contrast with the mystery of godliness. Okay? Because for every action, there's a reaction. For every thing that God does, Satan likes to duplicate. And the only way he could come at God's people is if he comes at them as if he were him, as an angel of light. Okay? And that is how he has deceived people through through the centuries, hundreds, thousands of years now. And it's only continuing, and it's getting more severe. Okay? And so we're going to look at this mystery of iniquity in contrast with the mystery of godliness, because both those phrases are used, and we're going to see how this mystery of iniquity engulfs the church without the church not even knowing it's happening. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this. So first we're going to look at this falling away. So, okay, you take this phrase, falling away. Okay, this is what pops up. This is the word that pops up. Okay, apostasy. I'm sure you've heard many people talk about it. That it means an apostasy. Okay, it's a feminine form, and we're gonna connect all these words together. It's a feminine of the same as this word here, which means defection from truth. Okay, so there's a clue right there. Properly, the state or apostasy, a falling away or forsaking. Forsaking the truth. Okay. Now, if we connect this to the next word here, you're going to see something more interesting. Okay, apostasion. This is what is connected to apostasia. Okay, it's a neuter of a presumed adjective from a derivative of G868, and we're going to look at that. And this is where a lot of these people are getting this departing out off the face of this earth, or rapture. This is where they're getting this from. Properly something separative, that is separate, that is specifically divorce, writing of divorcement. Okay, so basically, in a sense, is this a divorcement from the earth, or is this a divorcement from the faith? Okay, which one is it? Again, we're going to look at contrast of other verses and see what it says. So let's go and look at the derivative form here, which is G868, and here we will get it. Episteme, to remove. Ah, now that sounds like a catching away now, doesn't it? That is actively instigate, to revolt, usually reflexively to desist, desert, depart, draw. There's that word depart, fall away, refrain, withdraw, self. Okay, so when looking at these words, you can kind of see a hint of a rapture. Okay, now granted, all these words here are connected to the word in referenced in 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3. Okay, and falling away. And this one, when they connect the dots of all these words, they come to the conclusion, these people come to the conclusion that since connecting these dots, this word can actually mean a departure, then that means that 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3 is not really talking about an apostasy within the church, but it's actually talking about a catching up, a rapture, if you will. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at a few verses that use this specific word, which means to depart or fall away or draw from or withdraw oneself. Let's look at other verses and see what this means. And obviously, when we look at 1 Timothy 4, 1 through 3, pay attention to the word being used. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. Okay. So Paul is using this same word right here, episteme, to define what depart is. This is not a rapture. This is not departing from the face of the earth. This is not a rapture of the church. Okay? This is a departing from the faith. This is giving heed to seducing spirits, because grievous wolves will enter among them once Paul goes away. So this is people coming in and deceiving the flock, and the flock following suit, and so therefore they are departing from the faith, because they are giving heed to the seducing spirits that are working in the minds of men to deceive God's people, because ultimately that's the end game. He doesn't have to worry. Satan doesn't have to worry about those that are outside. Okay? That's our job, is to preach the gospel to those that are outside. They are already outside. Satan doesn't need to worry about those. He needs to worry about those that are within to get them to depart from the faith. Hebrews 3:12, take heed, brethren, lest there be any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living God. So there's another time this word departing or depart is used. It's not in reference to a good thing. This one is talking about, those that have an evil heart of unbelief. They depart from the living God, meaning they really didn't believe in him in the first place. They didn't really believe in the atoning sacrifice. They didn't believe, even though they came out and openly with their mouths said that they do. Inwardly, they never did. Okay, so henceforth, that is a departing from the living God. This is the same word that's used. Let's look at another instance. Acts 20, verse 29. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them. Therefore watch, and remember that by the space of 3 years I ceased not to warn every one, night and day, with tears, because he knew that this was going to happen. Okay, so the original belief of the falling away was there was an apostasy that was going to creep into the church. Modern dispensationalists will have you believe that this falling away actually is talking about the rapture. By going through these verses here and looking at this word, how it connects to the word depart, we see that what was believed beforehand was actually the truth, and that the falling away is a apostasy of the church, a departing from the faith. That's what that is. It is not talking about a rapture. So let's go ahead and look at one more thing here. Mystery of godliness and mystery of iniquity. Okay. We see the phrase mystery of godliness in 1 Timothy 3:16. This is the only time this phrase in this context, in this manner, is used. Mystery of godliness. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifest in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, received up into glory. Okay, so this is in a sense the gospel herald, the gospel that God came down as a man, Jesus Christ. He was justified in the spirit. This is basically the essence of what one must believe in order to be saved. Okay, and then in contrast, this is what his followers are supposed to be doing in the essence of preaching the gospel, the true gospel. Now, question. Since we already seen in other verses that this mystery, this falling away happens from within the church, and that these wolves in sheep's clothing come in, and that men within will speak perverse things, okay, speak of another Jesus, where do you think Satan will have this mystery of iniquity embodied in? He would have this mystery of iniquity embodied within the church. Okay? Because if the mystery of godliness is within the church, then therefore the mystery of iniquity is also creeping into the church to pull people away to depart from the faith. 2 Thessalonians 2:7 says, For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Again, let's look at Acts 20, verse 29. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them. It could be by any means. It could be through sympathy. It could be through in need of something. It could be through in want of something. That they themselves may not know that they are operating in a mystery of iniquity, but they are. And in a sense, they are drawing people away from the faith. In 2 Corinthians 11:4, For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if he received another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, you might well bear with him. Okay, so if you're receiving another spirit, and someone's preaching a Jesus that's sounds very, very, very close to the Jesus of the Bible, but it's not the same Jesus. They use the same name and everything, folks. And if you receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, you might well bear with them. Now, which gospel? It is only the gospel that Paul and anyone mentioned in Scripture. That is the only gospel that we should be focusing on. Not private interpretations of Scripture, but Scripture and Scripture alone. And again, this is the deception. See, people don't know that they are deceived because they are not willing to admit that they are deceived, and hence they believe that they are preaching the truth or teaching the truth, regardless of how sincere they may be. But some have their conscience seared. And when your conscience is seared, it means it's made up. It's very, very hard, and only one can help that individual turn away from that. Okay? This whole thing with people talking about the falling away actually meaning the rapture, that's false. That's not the truth. In 2 Thessalonians 2:3, falling away remains to be an apostasy of the church that creeps in within the church. Soon after Paul's departing is when this started to happen. And that was a long time ago. And is continuing today. So I'm going to close on this note. And I hope this has helped in any way, shape, or form. Until next time, truth be told, truth be known, stay safe. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.